What is up, Berserkers? BerserkTime99 here, and welcome back to another video. On today's video, I'm going to be explaining an idea that I have for a Caine movie, and it is because I think Caine is such an interesting character. Donnie Yen does an awesome job playing the character, and I think that Caine is literally and overall badass in John Wick 4, and I think Caine is such an interesting character that I've decided to write down a movie idea that I have for him, and yeah, let's get started on the idea. So, it takes place at the end credit scene for John Wick 4, and if you guys seen the end credit scene for John Wick 4, Caine is about to go listen to his daughter play the violin, and Caine giving her flowers to say, "Hey, it's been a while." Meanwhile, Akira with a vengeance to kill Caine because at the beginning of John Wick, Caine killed her father, so Akira's going to kill Caine to avenge her father, and her entire character arc in this idea is going to be a little bit similar to how Freya was in God of War Ragnarok, except with a few differences. And yes, so as Akira's about to pull out the knife to kill him, Caine kind of hears Akira pulling out the knife, and as soon as Akira's about to go in the kill, for him, Caine dodges the attack, and their first fight ensues. And for the music of the first fight, I'm gonna keep the daughter's violin music because I think it'll be pretty cool to have that be the fight music for Caine and Akira's first fight. So, yeah, after Caine and Akira fight each other, Caine realizes that he's been forced back into that life to protect his daughter thanks to Akira's assassination attempt on him, and he doesn't want to go back to that life because at the end of John Wick 4, he got out of that life altogether to see his daughter. Now that Akira is trying to kill him, he is kind of forced back into that life, is thrust into it again because he has to think of his daughter, and also he's thrust back into it to protect his daughter from any danger. So, Caine sitting on a bench in that city where the end credit scene for John Wick 4 took place is thinking about that day when he gave his eyes to serve the high table. And remember in the middle of John Wick 4 as Caine is talking to the tracker about making a deal with the high table, and he tells the tracker that he gave his eyes to serve the table. That's going to be a very significant scene for the Caine movie because it shows us the story of how Caine worked for the table this whole time and how he gave his eyes for the service of the high table. And yeah, and then it cuts to Akira mad at herself for not killing Caine, and is also mad at Caine for dodging her attack. And a little bit after, a new player who is going to be played by Simu Liu, and the Simu Liu character, I'm going to call him the Manipulator, and the Manipulator also has a past with Caine because Caine kind of killed his uncle a little while ago, And yeah, so the manipulator introduces himself as Chun Zhao, and him and Akira introduce themselves to each other, and they begin to trust each other because of their mutual hatred for Caine. And he tells Akira the story of how Caine killed his uncle, and this is going to be important for later in the film. And Akira kind of feels bad for the manipulator because Caine killed his uncle, and Caine killed her father. So they feel like Akira feels like that she has a bond with the manipulator and kind of shares the same goal to kill Caine, but this is going to be important for later. And yeah, after that scene plays out, Caine drives a car to a private airbase in also in the city where the end credit scene took place, and meets an old buddy of his named William, who is going to be played by Woody Harrelson. And I think Woody Harrelson would be good for the character of William, just like I said how Simu Liu is going to be good for the manipulator. And yeah, so Caine kind of tells him the assassination attempt from Akira and what happened and how that fight started to ensue. And Caine and he tells William how he has to get out of here to basically try to get away from that life. So William takes Caine on his private jet to one of his bases in New York, and after that, Caine tells him everything about how Akira tried to assassinate him, how he is thrust back into that life. And William, for the record, thought that Caine was going to retire and be with his daughter for his remaining days. But Caine tells him how he is thrust back into that life thanks to Akira, and how she almost assassinated him. And yeah, after they land in New York, the manipulator and his men are waiting for the both of them, so that way the manipulator, also known as Chun Zhao, can talk to Caine about how Caine killed his father, how Caine killed his uncle, not his father. anyway, he kind of talks to Caine about like how Chun Zhao sent Caine to kill his uncle because Chun Zhao wanted a seat at the high table, and he had to kill his uncle to get that seat at the high table. And it'll flash back to the day that Caine killed his uncle, and how Chun Zhao, aka the manipulator, is about to kill Caine after Caine kills his uncle, because he kills hitmen, assassins, and mercenaries after they do a job for him. He kills them all because he doesn't want any evidence to be left behind, and Chun Zhao doesn't want to risk like them telling others like what they did for the manipulator. So Caine was the only one that got away from him. And yeah, so that's a lot of unfinished business. So And Akira, later in the film, is about to find out, but that twist that I put there, that's really shocking because Chun Zhao hired Caine to go kill his uncle because his uncle got a seat at the high table. So Chun Zhao hires Caine to kill his uncle, and then the manipulator was about to kill him, but he got away. So after Caine and the manipulator talk about the past, the manipulator, sorry, tells his men to go and kill Caine, and this is where this fight scene is going to get awesome because Caine will be riding on a motorcycle, shooting at some of the men and using his cane to whack them off the motorcycle and off their motorcycles, and it's going to be literally that awesome. So the manipulator, as a precaution, calls the hey guys, what's the place where some of the bad guys call where some of the bad guys call in the John Wick movies, where they kind of raise the price to whatever amount of reward money they get. What's that department or place's name in the John Wick franchise? Because I have no idea. And yeah, so the manipulator calls that place and tells them that Caine is a high bounty because Caine is after him, and yeah, so he calls them, and every hitman, mercenary, and assassin gets the call and is immediately going to go after Caine. So Caine, after he fights the manipulator's men, gets knocked off the motorcycle by one of the hitmen, and a fight begins to ensue between some of the hitmen, assassins, and mercenaries versus Caine, and Caine beats up every single one, and I'm not sure which new moves to put in since I'm not a fight expert, but yeah, so Caine beats them up, and he's gonna go hide out at the church from John Wick 1, but there's a surprise waiting for him there in the form of Akira literally waiting for him at the church so she could ambush him, and their second fight ensues. So after the fight at the church from John Wick 1, Akira kind of successfully stabs Caine in two places. Wait, actually, I'm going to switch that. I'm going to switch it. Actually, shoots him in two places with a bow and arrow, and that leaves Caine bleeding, and Akira walks out of the church from John Wick 1 thinking that she killed him, but he is going to be alive later in my idea. So yeah, one of Bowery King's men, after seeing Caine bleeding out, begins to rescue him after Caine calls out for help. And yeah, so after one of Bowery King's men saves Caine, this line is going to happen. Did you kill John? Yeah. You a friend of John's? Former friend. And yes. So that exchange of dialogue is going to be exchanged after Caine wakes up from his injury and how Bowery King's men saved saved his life and pulled the two arrows that Akira placed in him in two places out safely. So Bowery King gives Caine his aid and tells him that hang on, let me look at the script. Hang on. And telling him that the manipulator Akira and his men are currently in Osaka, Japan. They got away there, and it's because of a spy in Bowery King's network telling King that the manipulator Akira and his men are currently in the Continental in Osaka, Japan. And yeah, and then it flashes back to a time where Caine, Shimazu, and Akira were all having a good time with each other and how they all used to be friends, laugh together, and they were having a barbecue on top of the Continental in Osaka. And I want to have this cool flashback sequence where like flashes back between two people, because both Caine and Akira both remember the day when they all used to be friends. And for Akira, it's a good memory of her father, and for Caine, it's also a good memory of his former friend before he had to kill him. And yeah, so Akira thinking that she killed Caine, but the manipulator has a spy in Bowery King's network, and the spy calls Akira to tell him that Caine is not dead but still alive. And Akira, pissed. She is pissed at that fact. She is mad that she didn't kill Caine again, even though she thought she killed him, but she did not. So Akira does the most drastic thing that she ever did and basically kidnapped Caine's daughter in order to get to him. And yeah, then the manipulator calls Caine, laughs at him, and tells him that Akira kidnapped his daughter and that his daughter is currently in Osaka, Japan. And after that call, he thanks Bowery King, but Bowery King has something to give him, and it's a new pistol and a refurbished Caine of the Caine that, Caine uses to fight. And after he got out of Bowery King's base in New York, he calls William again to take him to one of William's bases, one of his plane bases in Osaka, Japan, so that way he can get to the Continental in Osaka to save his daughter. So once he gets to the Continental in Osaka, Japan, he fights more of the manipulator's men. The manipulator's men were all killed one by one, but as soon as Caine's about to kill the manipulator, played by Simu Liu, has this line to say, like, Hi, Caine. What do you... And Caine says, where is my daughter? Oh. Akira has her. Bring her out. So Akira brings out Caine's daughter, with a knife to his daughter's throat while Caine has a gun to the manipulator's head. And shortly after, the manipulator declares a challenge between Akira and Caine, where if Caine wins, he gets his daughter back and he is left alone. And when Akira wins, she fulfilled her father's quest, and that she fulfilled her vengeance. And yeah, Caine and Akira fight for the third time in the movie, and Caine, with a vengeance, that his daughter is brought into that life, like brutally punches Akira after he knocks her down with his cane, and like brutally beats her up. And then Caine, realizing the person that he's become, stops doing it, turns back, and Akira says, "Are you gonna finish it? Or are you a coward? Finish it!" And then the manipulator, after that, is about to shoot Akira, calling her, "Wake!" And then the bullet almost coming. Caine senses that and deflects the bullet with his cane, and then Akira, realizing that Caine saved her life, now going to fight with him against the manipulator, and the manipulator, being really mad, goes, "No, you were supposed to kill him, and I was supposed to kill you to clean up my mess. And both of you ruined my plan. This is my cleanup. Guys. Oh my." Alright, so then both Caine and Akira fight the manipulator, and I'm going to have this action sequence where it's kind of similar to the final fight scene in Civil War with Captain America, the Winter Soldier, versus Iron Man, except it's Caine and Akira versus the manipulator. So all three of them fight each other, and as it turns out, the manipulator is a very good fighter. So at the fight, he tells Akira how he sent Caine to kill his uncle so that way he can get a seat at the table. And Akira, now realizing that he basically lied to her about the reason why the uncle is killed, and gets really pissed off at him. And I'm also gonna have this cool sequence where the manipulator has a secret katana, and Caine, fighting with his king, kind of has that both sword sequence, and I'm gonna have it at that same camera angle where Iron Man shoots his beams at Captain America's shield. I'm gonna have it at that same angle where Caine, using his cane and the sword that's hidden inside the cane, fighting the manipulator with his katana, and just having it be like that. So yeah, I'm gonna have it at that similar camera angle and that same slow-mo fashion, and it'll be so freaking badass. And after Caine beats the manipulator, Akira shoots him with a bow and arrow through the chest of his suit, and then Caine gives him a bullet to the head. And that's the end of the manipulator. So, after Caine and Akira fight the manipulator, they both realize that they've been wrong for doing the things that they did, and Akira Akira and Caine make peace with each other. They're still rivals because Akira's not going to forget that Caine killed her father, and that Caine has to live with that for the rest of his life. So they make peace with each other, and instead of being very brutal enemies, they are friendly rivals who are going to help each other when they can. And yeah, and Akira has some of her continental servants clean up the mess that they both made, and his daughter and Caine's daughter running to her father gives him a really nice hug, and after that Caine tells her, let's get out of here, so that way he can currently take her homes, and Caine and his daughter go back to the airplane base in Osaka where William is, and William flies them out back to the place where the end credit scene for John Wick 4 took place, and Caine being happy that he can see his daughter again, but not in the circumstances that he expected, but he is glad that he gets to spend time with his daughter. And in the end, he spends a lot of time with his daughter telling him all the things that she did. And yeah, I hope you guys like my idea for a Caine movie, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you're curious. I am currently trying to make it to 50 subscribers, and I just need 5 more of you guys to subscribe to the channel, and it will be a blessing if you guys subscribe to the channel. So subscribe if you're curious, like the video, comment your thoughts on my idea for the Caine movie, follow me on Twitter, join me in the Berserkers Barracks on Discord, and yeah, I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!